Hey, what's up everyone? So today we're finally getting fiberglass on the truck. I just got the hood in from Mcneil. So we'll be doing that in this video. And if you haven't been following along, that's just because the F-150 hood will not line up with the Raptor fenders. As you can see, there's a pretty bad misalignment there. So we'll get the new hood on. This video might also include the valence, which I think should be coming in tomorrow. So hopefully that shows up. And I'll be doing the grill separately. I got something special planned for that. So there are some good videos on how to install like a fiberglass hood, and those are great. But I couldn't find anything specifically on like an F-150 and Raptor because I think there's gonna be some tricky parts in there, or maybe just some unique things that work for this truck that are worth sharing. So, all right, my buddy's coming over. We're gonna get this thing on. All right, so I think the first step, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the grill off, just so when we actually get the hood off completely, we can set it down on the ground and not worry about the strength of the hood, or excuse me, the grill here. You'll probably be fine if you put it down normally, but I had to take off one of these brackets on the passenger side. It's not there to accommodate for the catch can and stuff. But you probably won't have that problem, but that's what we're gonna do first. We're gonna take the grill off, and then it's just 4 bolts to take the hood off, 2 on each side. And that's why I really think you're gonna need a buddy here to help you out, because I don't really think it's gonna be easy doing it alone. So, all right, as you can see, we got the stock hood off, and we're about to start working on the fiberglass hood here. So a couple differences. This uses like studs and nuts, while the other hood uses more of a bolt. And there is no cutout here on the Mcneil hood for the hood latch, the stock hood latch. So that's over here. And so what we're gonna try to do is use this pattern and translate it over onto the aftermarket hood, cut it out with a Dremel, and then so I think we'll attach this part of the latch here to the hood, throw some big washers in the back, and possibly epoxy them. So we'll show you how we do that. All right, so we use an existing cutout for the template, and we're hoping that the geometry is pretty similar between the aftermarket hood and this. So what we did, we measured, we found center on the aftermarket hood right here. Found center, which is super easy because they have some nice contours here. And then we measured 2 inches, which is similar with what the dimension we got from the OEM hood. We measured 2 inches. That gave us our, I guess, more inward edge of our cutout. And then we measured about 2 1/4 inches across. And we're gonna make ours a little bit less wide, but we went 3 inches across to give us enough room for the latch mechanism. So what we're gonna do is, my buddy's a little bit smarter on fiberglass than I am, so we are gonna drill out 4 corners here so we have a nice radius, so there's no stress points. Yeah, okay, sure. So there's no stress points on the corners, and then we're gonna take a Dremel and just cut this out. So hopefully the next time you see this, it'll be all cut out and ready to go. All right, so I've been forgetting to film and update as I go, but as you can see, the hood is on. We used the nuts that Mcneil provided and just some washers I had laying around. And so here's the hole we cut out, and it worked out pretty nicely. The latch sits down nicely into it, and I have attached, what I did was we put the little like bar that the latch attaches to in here, and we set it down on the hood. And with the grill not being in the way, we're able to mark our holes, and actually the latch lines up perfectly. So Mcneil kind of made a nice accommodation for that. So we drilled the one hole already. We're gonna secure it, and then we're gonna attach the other one, and should be good to go. All right, so we got the latch all working fine. There, the little keeper, I don't know if that's what that's called. We got that all installed. It places down nicely, and works just like it does from the factory. So now we're trying to figure out how we're gonna get the hood pins in. So Mcneil recommends use of the hood pins, and I think I'm gonna do it just to make sure the bumper doesn't want to move at all or get stressed at all. So we'll just use the hood pins in addition. So we already kind of marked And I got this from a guy on the Raptor Swap Facebook page, but we already kind of marked approximately where it's going to touch the hood, and we think the location is going to work just fine. So now it'll be a challenge of getting the hood pins all mounted up kind of and staged down here. So this is what they kind of look like. This is from Mcneil. These are auto fabs, and they seem pretty nice. So we'll get them all set up and show you how we do it. Okay, so the next status update. We are working on getting holes into this, I guess, structural piece of steel here that kind of holds, I guess it's the core support. I'm not really sure what you'd call it, but anyway, so we're working on getting holes through this. It's really difficult to drill, and we're going to drill through the top surface and also through the bottom, so straight through, so we can put a bolt through the bottom and use our coupler nut on top and get our pin sitting on top of that. So once we get that in place, I'll show you what that looks like, and then we're going to go. We're going to mark the pin with a little bit of grease or something like that, and then we'll start drilling the fiberglass hood from underneath. All right, so here's my preliminary pin setup. So I'm going to probably end up taking this back down and adjusting it as I do the fitment, but a couple things to note. So I'm pretty sure this is an M15 stud. I've had a lot of trouble finding a coupler that would fit this. So this is a 5/8 by 11, and you can get a solid, like, I don't know, 6 thread lengths into this coupler before the mismatched thread pitch like causes an issue. So I tighten it down mildly tight. So, and I put thread locker in there. So if you keep torquing this down, which is a little challenging, you got to put like a screwdriver in here and twist. But if you keep torquing it down, you're going to strip both the thread and the coupler. But so, like, just note that I'm pretty sure this is M15. It's a little challenging. So basically, I have a bolt going through the bottom. I might add a washer. I want to try to get as much thread engagement into the coupler as I can. It's currently a 3-inch bolt. And again, I might put another washer down here if I need to. We'll see how the height looks. But so at this point, like I said before, I'm going to put a little dab of grease up here. And I'm going to mark. It's going to mark on the hood over there. I'm going to drill a 2-inch, is my original thought. I'm going to drill a 2-inch hole with a hole slaw up here. Then I'm going to repeat the process because this is 2 layers. So I'm going to do a big hole up here, and then I'm going to switch to my 1.25-inch bit and drill out the top surface over here. So as you can see, I got the internal holes cut out. It was pretty easy. And just one thing I do want to mention is I was pretty intimidated at first doing this project. I've never worked with fiberglass before, but it is very easy to work with, like super easy. It's like you're cutting through wood, but the wood, it's more stable, and it's just not so bad. I guess the only thing you're worrying about, like dust management. So I've been using a piece of cardboard here that I already vacuumed up, but so this keeps it out of the falling in the engine bay. And as you can see, I've also moved the headlights out of the way for that whole pin assembly over there. So I'm gonna rinse and repeat, put more grease up here, and we'll get this next hole done. And just so you know, I'm first gonna drill a pilot hole from the underside, and that'll give me a good location. And then I'm going to bring the hood down and probably prop it up with a piece of wood or something down here so I can drill from the top side, because the hole's going to be cleaner if you drill from your exposed surface. So that's my plan. All right, I am done drilling, and it's starting to come together. As you can see, my current setup is currently too short, so I'm going to have to mess with some of the heights, maybe add some washers, see what I can do. So I'm kind of regretting I got an 1.5-inch coupler that was down below. I think the 2-inch probably would have been smarter, and maybe I'll go back and switch if I can't get it to work. But let me quickly grab the grommet thing that goes on here and we'll see how it looks. So obviously it's still super short, but this is a good sign that it is lining up correctly. So that's really nice to see. I'm pretty sure when I go and drill these holes in for the grommet that this will kind of suck down and I can get it to a place where it's contours to the hood a little bit better, but I guess we'll see. So I'm gonna try to mess with this and try to get it to a height that works. Okay, I think I finally got this grommet thing all installed. Turned out okay. I did have to do some light trimming with a drill bit on the inside here, and it's because it's kind of on an angle here. So the top inside and the bottom outside, if you can imagine, so down here in the bottom. Let me open up the hood and I'll show you the final setup for the hardware. So here we have basically the 4-inch bolt going through. I ended up stacking 3 washers just to get the spacing correct because the bolt was going too far into the coupler up here. I'm running no washer. I know that's kind of a no-no. This isn't going to have a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of force on it, so it's going to be all right. I would prefer to run a washer, but just the spacing is not working out nicely. So this is all set up. I have it angled this way, kind of like on a 45-degree from the direction of travel. And that's so it kind of lines up nicely with the grommet, and the hood pin will go through kind of in a nice direction. So I had to open up the hole here a little bit to get access in there to secure all that hardware and those fasteners. So hopefully this is okay. If you know better than I do, if that's going to cause an issue down the road, let me know. If I have to oval it out to make it not crack, I might have to do that. But you can kind of see how I, on an angle there, kind of clearance that grommet. So let's bring it down. So there's a little bit of resistance. This is kind of what I was talking about with the hood pin. Let me grab one. So because the diagonal is kind of like down like this, you want the hood pin to kind of be perpendicular to that. So it should slide in nicely like that. There we go. So that'll keep it nice and secure. There's really not a lot of play there. And I think I'm gonna end up cutting this lanyard off unless I can find a good spot to attach to in the fender, which I don't think there's a bolt anywhere close enough. Because as I lift this hood up, I don't want the pin rattling around if it were attached to one of these screws. So, all right, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and I think we're almost done. All right, so here's the finished product. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I do have to do fix these gaps. As you can see, this gap is super tight over here and super not so tight over here. Couldn't really adjust that with the hood, so I'm hoping I can adjust it with the fenders. So we'll see. But yeah, like there's not a lot of play. It goes down a little bit, but that's gonna take some force, and it's pretty stiff in there. This side goes down even less. One thing to note is I didn't clearance it enough where it, like when I pull the hood latch, it pops up, which is, I mean, obviously you have to take the pins out first, but I pull the hood latch, nothing really happens, and I walk out here and I'll just do a light lift on this and it comes up. And then obviously I have to pull the secondary latch to get it all the way open. But, so I think it's gonna work. I'm pretty happy with it. The fit and finish is okay, I guess. I don't know much about what fiberglass should look like. I know it's not perfect. Like you kind of have an interesting angle here, and this side's a little high, so that's a little interesting. The same thing with over here as well. It's a little high, and you have this weird kind of corner. But I think overall it's gonna look better and be better than my F-150 hood on here. And I'm excited to see this thing transform. It's already looking really good. So not sure how long this video is going to be. If it's pretty short, I'll do the valence now. If not, you'll probably see the valence in the next video.